I'd rather face the theoretical pain of rejection for who I am than acceptance for this projection that I actually am not. I'm going to fake it till I make it or just keep taking action, or I'm going to wait till I have the confidence to take action.
Yo, Chris, man, what are you doing? What are you up to?
I'm just helping people reinvent their lives. No big deal.
Yeah, no big deal. Well, I'm going to join in.
Cool.
God bless, we're breaking these runs. Life too short to play it on speed run.
All right, Todd, what's on the docket today, my man? What are we talking about?
Well, Chris, this is one of those topics that most people don't address when they're reinventing their careers or their lives. But when we turn towards the how to have confidence even when I don't syndrome, and you address it consciously and with the system, it frees you from so much mental consternation and anxiety. It's literally life-changing. And as we're going to see today, the strategies involved with confidence building are actually quite polar. Either you move forward and take action using the fake it till you make it approach, or you wait until you somehow locate that internal feeling of confidence before taking action. And yes, Chris, today we're talking about imposter syndrome and how to deal with it. And as you know, I have very specific recommendations, and I think you do too, for how to address this virtually ubiquitous issue. Look, everyone deals with this. And our goal for today is that you, our dear listeners, come out of this episode with a clear set of guidelines for what to do and how to act if confidence, or lack thereof, is one of those things that keeps you up at night. So our mission today is accelerated mental freedom. And remember, our core premise is that your next career can be your best career if you align it with who you want to become and not with who you've been in the past. And this is a tricky subject because many in our reinvention community have had supreme confidence in their professional craft, and now they're either burned out or being forced to look at other options, and lacking confidence is all of a sudden a huge issue that they've never dealt with before. Look, man, I see you like a rabid dog chomping at the bit to get in on this one. What say you, my man?
Yeah, I mean, this is a really critical one. It's really important. And it's also, just from a personal perspective, been something I've struggled with, not only in my reinvention. I mean, I've struggled with it my whole life and my whole career. I've said this to you before, Todd. The worst thing that ever happened to me was that I was a little smart, precocious kid who got straight A's, and everything came really easily to me. When I was little, a lot of people around me acted like, oh, you're like a genius. This is all going to work out for you. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate the support. That's a good thing. Everybody meant well. But then the first time I ran into adversity or something was difficult, I didn't know what to do with that. I didn't have the resilience to deal with that. And I think it created a situation where I was really anxious and hesitant to go into situations where I didn't have like 100% complete confidence that I was going to knock it out of the park. And what is that a recipe for? Well, it's a recipe for not trying new things. It's a recipe for squelching your growth, actually. Because the thing we talk about through lots of different lenses on this podcast is, if you want to grow and if you want to reinvent, you by definition want to grow, you're going to have to be bad at stuff. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to start doing something. You're going to have to take action in an area that you are not comfortable in. And you're going to still have to steel yourself to do it, because you can't get better if you don't try the thing that you suck at. And that's critical.
This notion of not feeling confident, I said the word ubiquitous. We all feel it. Everybody, the whole world feels it. So I think that's very relieving when you understand that, all right, I'm just trying my best. I'm listening to this podcast on career reinvention. It's tough for me. I've been on this path, and I'm not feeling 100% certain about my future. It's why I'm seeking out a conversation like this. That's okay. We start there. We actually just start there. And I also mentioned this notion of fake it till you make it. It's a really controversial thing. Like, some people hate it in my experience. Some people live by it. The way that I hold it is a little bit different in terms of what does fake it till you make it actually mean. To me, what it really means is that you're taking action without being controlled by your emotional state. Okay. So you're always taking action, even if you don't feel confident, even if you don't feel 100% secure. Now, a lot of people will turn that into being disingenuous, inauthentic, even lying or manipulating. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay. Taking action can be generative action, can be authentic action, but you may not just have the confidence of what you're doing. And look, it's like anything that you do new. When you first start going to the gym, it's going to be really painful to lift those weights. It's going to be really painful to get on that treadmill or go running. It's not going to be great. You're not going to have confidence. Your body's not going to be used to it, but you're doing it to build the muscle. And my approach on coaching, Chris, for years has been, it's taking action that starts to rewire the neural pathways. Like, I don't really think that sitting around waiting to get confidence and just using meditative practices or coaching techniques to locate the internal feeling of confidence is the sole answer. That's valuable, okay? Like, for me, it's a both end. So it is valuable to try to locate and do some internal work, remove blocks, do some healing that gets these insecurities out of the way. But fake it till you make it is the wrong language. It's really take action even when you don't feel it. Feel the fear and do it anyway. And this is a staple, Chris, for people that are reinventing their career and reinventing their lives. Like, we need to be pushing forward and going forward. Like we always say, this life's a blip in the matrix, and we're living in a world that is rapidly changing. There is tons of uncertainty in a variety of ways. We get it. I get it. You feel it. I feel it. Let's go. Let's keep going. Let's take action. Let's see what wants to become of us just doing things, okay? Even if it's not perfect and right, and let's see where we land.
Well, and I want to take on the concept of when people think that fake it till you make it is inauthentic. If we talk about coaching, for instance, it's not fraud and you're faking that you offer a service and you're tricking people. It's faking the confidence that you are like able to do this thing at a level a little bit better than you're able to. It's for yourself. It's internally focused. So it's like, before I feel like I'm ready to take the next step to grow my business, I am pushing myself to grow my business a little bit. It's not
Right.
that the business itself is fake or something like that. I like to say, be it before you see it. Maybe that's my trademark version of it. But I love the analogy you made to working out, right? Think about it. You're putting up 135 on the bench press. If you're going to get up to 145, at some point, you're going to have to put another 10 pounds on the bar, and you're going to have to not be able to put it up. That's really all this is about, is having the confidence to push yourself to a place where really that you're challenging yourself. You know that you are pushing yourself to grow. Because if you only do the things that you feel 100% certain about having a return of success on, there's absolutely no growth there.
Right.
It's impossible by definition.
Yeah, I think the thing where people get off on this one is the projection aspect, right? So we see this a lot on social media, that it's like, oh, everyone is living this incredible life. Like, well, look at that guy, look at that woman, like business is great, they're flying high, they're on jets, like their family is beautiful and everything is great, right? We know that game, okay? So I'm not talking about fake it till you make it, that I recommend people to just project out into the world something that is so ideal. Like, look, if you want to do that, that's fine.
I think that there are things wrong with that, but we won't get bogged down in that.
Right.
But
Look,
yeah.
there can be things wrong with it when it's also coming from a place of inauthenticity. Like, sometimes we see it, we feel it. We're like, man, that person is really trying very hard to project something. And I know someone feels a little bit off about it, but that's one thing. Okay. The greatest way to really start to get confidence, and this is like a little secret. Okay. This is something that I talk about with all my clients for 20 years, is when you're in a place where you're feeling lack of confidence, turn that lack of confidence into curiosity. Become curious. Ask questions. Ask questions to people. This is the antidote for this whole thing, okay? You become a student, you become a learner. You just go out into the world with this more inquisitive attitude. And it's amazing what happens, because all of a sudden, this whole idea of like, I have confidence, I don't have confidence diminishes. And you just see yourself as a human being that is just wanting to understand things. And it actually doesn't matter what level of mastery you're at in any area, okay? Like, the greatest masters are maybe the most curious people. I mean, Einstein has some great quotes around this, right? So when we're in a situation where we're reinventing and we feel like we're at the beginning, sometimes this fake it till you make it feels like, oh, well, we need to project, to be able to kind of establish like this new identity that we're working towards. And what I'm saying is, yes, that is an approach that has some validity, but also turn it into like, well, I'm just kind of like a newbie here. I'm just going to ask a lot of questions. And that's where you're going to find your juice. This is where you're going to find your solace. This is where you're going to find acceleration towards success. is when you become a beginner again in your own mind and you start asking a lot of questions in a lot of ways, technically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. Like you really start asking questions and you see yourself that way. This diminishes pretty much all of that.
Yeah, and releasing the ego in a way that allows you to be that beginner and ask those questions. To me, that creates so much confidence, and it also embodies confidence in yourself. It's a little bit counterintuitive maybe in a way, but I create a lot of confidence in myself when I let go of this idea that I'm supposed to know everything. I can't ask a question. I was just on a call with a guy who's got a great social media game, and I was like, hey man, you got a great social media game. I'd love to hear about that. Like, how did you start doing that? Like, how do you do all this stuff? Whatever. I got all this learning from him in this conversation, and I'll now apply it on my level. But that's the fake it till you make it thing that we get hung up on. I was not fronting in any way. I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing here. Like, let's go. And then there's no anxiety or no nerves around that at all. So this confidence thing is really tied up in our ego and not wanting to be embarrassed or exposed or whatever it is, right? This goes to a theme we talk about all the time, Todd. No one is judging you.
Mm-hmm.
No one cares as much as you care about it. It's like develop the internal belief in yourself and your value as a human, really, in a way that underlies the confidence. It's okay that you're bad at the thing you want to do right now. Right. No one's judging you for that. Embrace that. And now you're not out over your skis trying to pretend you're something you're not. And all that lack of confidence really gets deflated.
Yeah, I agree. And you talk about going over your skis because I know you're going skiing tomorrow. So that's probably not in your mind. Yeah, good for you, man.
Oh, and by the way, I'm going to ski greens, Todd. I'm going to ski greens. I'm not going to be over my skis. I'm going to be beginner's mind.
No, but I love what you said. And, you do this very naturally, like just going into business with you. You're very open in the areas that you don't really know. You're incredibly open to what you don't know and where you're uncomfortable.
You say I do that naturally, and that's really funny, Todd. That's only because we've gotten to know each other at this phase in my life. That is not the way I naturally was up until just a few years ago, right? I had to learn how to be a beginner. My assumption going into everything was that I should know how to do this on some sort of higher level or whatever it is. And so then I would do things. And, the first time you pick up a golf club, most people shank the ball, right? You're not going to hit like a beautiful drive the first time you do that. So then I would immediately code something like that as, I suck at this thing, which is true in the beginning, but also that is what everyone is at everything in the beginning. And so it started to create systemic lack of confidence for me where I'd be like, I'm so bad at all these things. Yeah, I'm a beginner who's unpracticed in all these things. So I had to learn, and I think people who are listening, I think this will help some people. I had to learn how to get comfortable and confident enough in myself on a core level to when I meet someone like you who I want to partner with and work with, rather than thinking I have to impress this guy with how good I am at stuff. I was like, if I don't know something, I am just open to say, I don't know what that is. I don't really know how that works. You'll either accept that I don't know those things and will help me learn and we'll work together, or you'll do them and I won't, or whatever it is, or you won't. And at the beginning, I didn't care because it's like, this is going to work because this guy's going to want to work with the me who actually exists, not some false projection that I'm trying to sell.
Yeah, I mean, what you're modeling is how to have a really good, healthy, authentic relationship, really with anybody. You got to that point. I'm really curious how you crossed that bridge. I only know you now of building this business together and doing this podcast where I really see you as someone that's always open and vulnerable and transparent. What it does for me on the other side, so you can understand if you're sitting here listening to this thinking, well, how am I going to start doing that? How am I going to start getting more authentic and vulnerable with people? And that's risky because there's a chance that they're going to say no or they won't like it, right? And then it won't be the right fit in some way. And this goes for romantic relationships, right? This goes for business partnerships, collaborations. When you're not yourself and you're trying to fit yourself in a box to appease and get approval from someone else, there's that inauthentic part, but you're trying something, you're trying an approach. But when you let that go and you're like, look, I'm just going to go ahead and be myself, and either it's going to work or it isn't. You said the words, I didn't care. You said that just now. And that's really powerful. This is what people have to understand. For people that are reinventing their careers, you have to get to that place where it doesn't matter. You have to be yourself and you have to be authentic, and not everyone is going to be the right fit for you. You're going to kiss a lot of frogs along the way, right? You're like my fifth business partner in trying to build what my vision is in my life. You know that, right? You're going to have to go through a process. It is iterative when you're reinventing, but when you're authentic, which, I really try to be myself and what you're modeling, you're going to go through that. But then what happens in this situation where we have this podcast and we love doing it and we love working together so far, you've created a lot of trust. Okay. Like, I trust you because you are always sharing your authentic, in the moment challenges and good stuff as well. It's not all challenges, but like things that you don't understand or you're uncertain about. So I trust that. I'm like, oh, we have a very solid foundation as friends and as business partners because I kind of know where this guy's at. That to me is more valuable than somebody that is trying to feign some identity to fit in with what their perception of me is.
Their projection of what they think you might want, and they're trying to people please their way in.
That's the funny thing. The strategy is faulty because you don't really know the other person. What always wins is being yourself. And if it doesn't work out, and I've told you that it doesn't work out. You both move on in some way and you both learn a lesson and then you move on. So I don't even know we're going to get there on this today, but like, this is really what this is. It creates confidence. It also gives me the ability, Chris, to share my own stuff back.
Yeah, it creates a feedback. It creates a safer space and connection and stronger relationship. I mean, you were saying people approach these things sometimes like, well, what if I get rejected? If I let them see that I'm not good enough in this way, what if I get rejected? You want to get rejected. For me, I'd rather face the theoretical pain of rejection for who I am than acceptance for this projection that I actually am not. And I said theoretical there because it doesn't hurt. And I know that for people who are not maybe in that headspace yet, that's hard to contemplate. So you're going to have to take that on faith and you're going to get there. Again, if early on in the process, I had, in being open and vulnerable and talking to you about the things I can and can't do and this and that, whatever, and you had said, hey, well, we're not going to move forward. From my perspective, I'm like, all right, how many other billions of people are there in the world to partner with or to work with or whatever? So it was like, I wanted to work with you, but it was a loose attachment like we talk about. Now we've created collective confidence through our actions. And this is what you were saying before. You set it up really nicely in this conversation. There's sort of the people who are like, I'm going to fake it till I make it, or just keep taking action, or I'm going to wait till I have the confidence to take action. Well, I've got an opinion on that, Todd, but I'd love to hear what you think about those.
Yeah, I love that you just made that shift in it, right? Because on the other side, there is also value in doing some of this inner work that is necessary for us to allow and reflect, one of our favorite terms, that we'll talk about right now a little bit, in terms of, well, why am I not feeling confident? The fake it till you make it, the reason why a lot of people have a problem with it is that you're stamping over something that's deeper inside your psyche, okay? And yes, you are, in a sense, like you're trying to override the program. You're literally trying to create new neural pathways that can deaden the old ones. This is what neuroplasticity is, okay? It's the idea that our brains can change and our behaviors and our actions are very powerful that form grooves in our mind. And at the same time, we also look to the internal mechanism and we try to upgrade ourselves from the inside out. And what that means, when you're lacking confidence, a really valuable practice that all reinventors need to integrate. And this is why what we're doing is different than simply helping people pivot their careers. We are not career pivoters. We are career reinventors, which is different because allow and reflect and giving yourself the time to turn inward is a big part about what we all need to be doing right now. Okay, we all need to be integrating self-reflective practices where we spend some time on at least a weekly basis, if not daily, 10, 15 minutes, to allow ourselves to feel the lack of confidence, to allow ourselves to feel the insecurity, to allow ourselves the ability to feel our fear or our sadness or our depression about the state of the world. Let it be okay. All right. I'm not saying, and we've done episodes on this, that we stay in that state forever. No, we want to move the needle. We want to be proactive. We want to be optimistic. We want to take this life on. That's very much what we're about, but without allowing yourself some time and space to just be with the negativity, to just be with that fear, just be with whatever it is, and allow it to be and be curious about it and develop those practices, these mindful practices, right? These the buzzwords that have really gotten popular over the last 20 years, but really allowing that to be is the fuel, Chris, right? So when you start to build this system of, all right, I'm going to allow and reflect and I'm going to override, and fake it till I make it. I'm going to start doing both of these things as strategies. That's where I've seen people really transform their lives and get results really, really fast when they're doing both.
Yeah, well, I think it's really important when you talk about allow and reflect. For me, there's an element of when I'm anxious about something or nervous about something because I'm not feeling confident about it, there's a meta level of that where it's like some of the anxiety is around not taking it on. It's around resisting it. Like, I don't want to do this thing. Like, I'm nervous about this thing and I don't want to do this thing, but I'm going to pretend that that's not happening. I think there is a balance of allowing yourself to feel that. And for me, self-talk is helpful here to say, oh, I'm feeling nervous about this thing. Like, I did a little presentation a couple of days ago. Oh, I'm feeling a little nervous about this little presentation. That's okay. You should be nervous about a presentation because you care about it and you want to get it right and you want it to land well in the room, and that's okay. And like, that takes the piss out of it a little bit in terms of the anxiety and the nerves that you're feeling in that moment. But I think the flip side is, like you said, don't stew in it and don't be stuck in it. And keep in mind always that it is a feedback loop, action and confidence. Build confidence to take the action that's maybe a bit challenging. Build confidence by having taken the action and reminded yourself and built the neural pathway that tells you, I'm the type of person that takes that action. And one of my favorite phrases I say on this podcast all the time is, when you take this scary action, because it's not going to be base jumping, it's going to be presenting your new business at a forum, you're not going to die. Mm-hmm. You're not going to die. Your nervous system is so hyped up around these things because it's so worried about rejection from the group and just all of these things. You're not going to die. So create this strength in yourself to say, I'm going to push myself past the limit a little bit where I'm not super confident it's going to land well. And it might actually go really well. My presentation went really well the other day. But even if it doesn't, you're going to feel better because you're going to prove to yourself, oh yeah, next time I feel that anxiety, I've proven to myself that it is not existential. I've proven to myself that I'm not going to die from it. And you just have to build that up over time. These are really deep things, right? I know we're talking to career reinventors here. And so from a tactical perspective, it's really important to get this confidence to move these certain conversations and your growth forward. These are really just deep human issues that we are all facing in every walk of life. So many people can take away from this just an examination of really how much of the life they want they're holding themselves back from out of this projected fear of the downside that doesn't really exist for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is deep stuff. At the end of the day, I know we're talking about people come to us and they're wanting to make really smart decisions about their career and they're wanting to align their interests and their lifestyle with their money making. And they come to us burned out or uncertain about the future with fear. And yeah, like we get that. This is what we're doing. And we have a very clear focus to help people make really smart decisions about their future, which is why on this podcast, we are also bringing in experts in business and technology and even some visionaries, that we're interviewing to talk about things like the future of work, because we want to start skating to where the puck is going. I love that phrase. When we make decisions about our future, like what industries, are actually going to be alive with AI changing everything, like let's be smart and tactical, right? I think this is a really worthy part about what we do. But when we talk about this conversation today and confidence, lack of confidence, and getting into some of the deeper interpersonal stuff, this is really where the rubber meets the road, because these things are very much connected. And when you're talking about nervous system regulation, this is a huge part of it, because especially for a lot of people that are coming out of corporate or careers where they had some success and there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of head energy that is running. And now what we're saying is, and again, this is what makes reinvention a little bit different, is let's bring it down. Okay, let's bring this down a little bit. Let's start to integrate some of these practices of allow and reflect. Let's start to feel the fear and do it anyway. Let's start to learn how to take action. It's why we built 6 tenets of reinvention, right? I'm not going to go through them again right now, but getting clarity and building the life vision, right? Having a game plan, having a community. This is why we have a community of reinventors that come to at least 2 calls a week with us and connect with each other because we need support. These are all tools that bring down the nerves and the anxiety and like grounds you into the reality that you are living on this planet for a short time and you have an opportunity to make really smart decisions right now about your future. And there's a process for how to do that well, okay? And the process is not just, well, I need to do some personal work and I need to kind of heal myself. The process is both. It's a both end, okay? And that's why I love this conversation more than anything. By the way, for our listeners, every time Chris and I finish an episode, we both say after, oh my God, I just reminded myself of so many things that I need to be doing. Like part of what we're doing is modeling being out there and open with these human processes because we are benefiting personally by doing this. This helps us become better people and become better men and fathers and husbands and also business owners, right? So that's what we're talking about here. It's a very human thing to reinvent yourself and to build the next career. And I think that's where the real seeds of success happen, Chris. We want people to be fully on fire about their future and not fearful and like, oh, I guess I'll do that because X, Y, Z. No, let's build that emotional energy and passion towards our future.
You said something so important, right? We're saying skate where the puck is going. There's so much change in the future of work. I mean, in the present of work, but in the near future of work with AI and the way industries are changing. We can make educated guesses and we can try to be smart about where we're targeting, but the truth is we don't know. And the pace of change is just exponential. So 3 years from now is going to feel as different as 20 years ago felt, is sort of the way we're progressing as a society. And so I'm going to say that what we're talking about right now, building your confidence and building your ability to try new things even when you're not ready, is a skill. It is a very important skill. If you're looking at LinkedIn right now, my favorite, trying to find your next job, that job might not exist in a year. But if you're building your confidence and you're getting comfortable trying new things and putting yourself into new situations and being able to expand who you connect with without knowing that you're going to get a guaranteed return or a result from it, that's the skill set that you're going to need in this ever-evolving and changing ecosystem of the future of work. It's just going to get faster and faster. So, we're not saying this just from the perspective of we'd like you to be able to have this confidence to actualize your life. We're also saying it from the perspective of it is a necessity in the world that we are already living in, and it's only getting faster and faster. This is an absolutely necessary tool in your kit.
Yeah, I could not have said that better, brother. These 6 tenets, that's what I'm going back to right now. Like getting clarity, building a life vision, getting a game plan, taking action, getting accountability partners, getting a community, building new skills, and understanding what new skills you need to build. And, within that one tenet is this idea how to deal with imposter syndrome and how to move forward with that reality that a lot of us have it is a skill. It's a skill, and that's the purpose of this conversation. And so the things that we've covered, the approaches that we've covered are pretty clear, actually, is the term fake it till you make it. It's really more take action, even if you're not feeling confident. Like always be moving and take action. Really, this is the key. This is the key thing to be doing right now. To remain open-minded and to be taking action is very, very important. Secondly, equally important is in that action that you're taking, and this is a skill to build, is turn it into not only projection of some level of confidence about who I am, what I've done, turn it into curiosity. This is a skill. Become a beginner mind. Be a learner. This changes your whole way that you'll flow through the day. And like the whole imposter syndrome goes away when you just sort of like, all right, look, I'm out there. Like I'm a newbie. I'm out there. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to send this DM on LinkedIn. I'm going to reach out to this person. I've never done that before. I've never reached out to that kind of person. I'm going to start doing some marketing. I'm going to join a community. I'm going to get a coach. I'm going to do all these things that reinventors are doing. I'm going to put out a shingle and build a website. I'm going to start speaking. I'm going to write my children's book. All these things that we're seeing from our community, you go ahead and you do this with this element of curiosity. And you find others that have done it or are doing it, and you ask them questions, and you become that type of person that you can be at your best is very charismatic. It's like very magnetic. When you become that person that's asking questions, people, they love it because you're giving them the opportunity to talk about their favorite topic themselves. You always say that on this podcast, like your favorite topic is yourself. That's very wise. People's favorite topic is themselves. So when you're asking questions, it's like, oh my God, this person cares about me. This person is really interested in me. Let me give you my goods. Let me share everything. And then they love you. And then guess what? At some point along the way, if you need some help, boom, they're there to help you. And then the third piece of this is we need to look internal as well. Okay. Like we need to have some level of personal practice, some commitment to what we call allow and reflect. Allow yourself to be human. Meditate, do mindfulness, go in nature, do self-talk, all the things that we talk about on this podcast. Like this is the perfect system for a successful reinvention. You're being human, you're allowing yourself to feel it and move forward internally. You're taking action and you're being curious. Like to me, that is a recipe for getting to the other side of whatever you're in right now really fast. But you got to live it. You got to do it. Like this isn't just, oh, come here and listen to Todd and Chris, two cool guys and whatever. No, like do these things. Make a commitment right now to like start, allow and reflect, to start being curious. Integrate stuff in your journal and your practices. This isn't just pie in the sky stuff. This is going to help you. That's why we're doing this podcast.
So I want to take a moment to maybe define confidence just as a takeaway for people before they walk out of this after listening to this episode, because I think I had it defined the wrong way for much of my life, where it was like, how am I going to perform at this task or this activity? Am I going to be good at it? Do I believe I'll be good or bad at it? It is on a much deeper level than that. This is what we're talking about. It's not even really connected to the results of the events in that activity or anything like that. It's like, do I go 10 for 10 or do I strike out 10 times? It doesn't matter. It's on a deeper values level, the way you feel about yourself. I am the type of person who's going to figure it out. I rely on myself, I believe in myself, and I'm going to figure it out. And that's what enables you to walk into these situations, one, as a beginner, open, vulnerable, with no ego, challenging yourself to try new things that you've never done before, knowing that you'll probably not do them well in the beginning. Because confidence is not like, how many of these did I get right? It's deeper than that. It's just belief in yourself that you will figure it out. And the beauty is, for a lot of people who are reinventing, you've been figuring it out all along. How many things have been thrown at you in your career that you had before, that you were an expert in some areas, but every damn day they threw something new at you and you figured it out. So find that belief, even if you're doing it in a new space or a totally new career or hanging a totally new shingle. That person who can figure it out is still here, and you're only going to be stronger for all the experience that you have and for the new experiences that you're taking on.
I love that, man. This is such a great reminder for everybody that you've already experienced and lived this life that we're talking about, and now you're just applying it to something new, like a new area, a new future, right? You already know how to do this. That's the reminder. I love the definition of confidence, that I can figure this out. And I love the I can figure this out because it connotes, I don't know exactly how, I don't know exactly when, but I can do it. And I know it's going to be a journey. I know it's going to be ups and the downs. And I know that I can get the support that I need. And I know that I can connect with these 6 tenets that we talk about. And there's people out there like us and communities that can help me. And I can do this. I can figure it out, and I'll know when to make the right decision. So that's a really beautiful way to end this episode, man, with a very clear definition of it. As always, like, so good just jamming on this topic with you, like, so much fun. I feel like we could go on forever on it, which is why we're going to keep going on the podcast, because we have a lot to talk about. And if if you're listening, follow us along. Make sure that you get involved. If you're curious about our work, come over to our website at reinvention.biz. You can download our workbook. This is an amazing tool that you can use to start getting really tactical about your future. Join our community if you want, right? This is always there for you. It's an amazing group of people. And Chris, just grateful to be here with you, man. And I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, great conversation, Todd. And I really hope people will take this one to heart because it's life-changing.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.